Okay, so Six Nations Super Saturday continues. France were playing Wales in the second game of the day. France can still win the Six Nations title if Ireland do lose to England and they got the bonus point victory. Now, Wales in defeat were far, far improved than they have been throughout the tournament. I think that win against Italy gave them a little bit of confidence. They were much, much better in the second half in large spells. They started the game really, really fast as well. And then the French just woke up. There is a controversial moment on 18 minutes involving Gaël Fickou and his tackle on Alan Wynne-Jones, which we'll discuss. And then they kept the scoreboard ticking over, Ramos kicking penalties. And then just before and just after half-time, they blew the scoring right open and they get the bonus point try on 48 minutes. Then Wales come back in a 10-minute spell. Then it's the French, I think, lose a bit of focus, lose a bit of intensity. Then they come back, and then Wales finish off the scoring with a Rio Dyer try. So let's break it down. So literally from the first kick-off, it's all Wales for the first 10 minutes. In that period, George North gets his try on 7 minutes. The French are just defending. There's a lot of penalties there, which they won't be happy with. I don't think Sean Edwards will be happy with that. But it took 7 minutes of just constant Welsh pressure, finally, for George North to get his try on 7 minutes. But very, very quickly, the French respond. They can score a try out of nothing. The break from Entermac and with the defensive mismatch. I've been saying this for a while now. George North is not a centre. He cannot defend at centre. The communication between the two centres isn't great. Entermac finds a gap, breaks the line, and then the handling skills at pace, the recycling at pace, it ends up in Penot's first try on 10 minutes. Ramos converts. And now the game is in the balance. The Welsh aren't out of this game. They're actually playing the French at their own game. They're playing rather well. Then the Gaël Fickou tackle on Alan Wynne-Jones. It is a tip tackle. Should it have been a yellow? Should it have been a red? In the end, a penalty only. And that is a key moment because Gaël Fickou will score the bonus point try. Will have a massive imprint on the game in defence and in attack with his interplay. And, well, I think in this Six Nations, there's been several incidents which should have been yellow or red cards. Van der Merwe's shoulder charge against Ireland last week in the act of Ireland scoring a try should have been a yellow at minimum, possibly a red. And in this sense, I think maybe because there's not a lot of force in the challenge and Gaël Fickou realises he's got it slightly wrong technically and he brings Alan Wynne-Jones down more gently than he could have done, I think is a mitigating factor in it not being a red, but I still think that should have been a yellow, and that would have been a key moment with Wales still being in the game and the game finally balanced. After that, France build the momentum. They build the momentum and they strangle the game. Ramos slots 2 penalties on 26 and 30 minutes. And then Jonathan Danty, he deserves a try. With the injuries he suffered, the knee injury he's had, the length of time out of the game, Penot is the final pass, and it's a brilliant pass. Dante holds the width where Penot should be. Penot's gone into where Dante should be, and they've swapped, and they've got a mismatch defensively. Rio Dyer is not going to knock Dante out the way. That's a deliberate ploy. All the plays happening on the other side of the field for many, many phases. The Welsh get sucked in. They create the space, and it's a well-deserved try for Dante on 33 minutes. Ramos converts. Then it's half-time, 20 points to 7. After half-time, very, very quickly, very similar to what Wales did in the first half, in the second half, Antonio scores his first ever try for France. On 43 minutes, the French come out like a freight train. Ramos converts. Very quickly afterwards, Gaël Fickou, who in my opinion should have been off the field, at least with a yellow, possibly a red, but there's mitigating circumstances, and we can all debate whether that tip tackle deserved more punishment than just a penalty. Scores his try in 48 minutes. In defence, he's a beast in defence. Sean Edwards has entrusted him with leading that defensive line. Ramos converts again. And then the intensity drops out of the game a little bit. It starts to rain. The French are making sloppy handling errors. The Welsh are now starting to compete at the breakdown. Bradley Roberts gets his first try for Wales. This is again Wales. The momentum swings back in their favour a little bit. Dan Biggar converts. That's on 56 minutes. Thomas Williams, he was injected into the play. Mixed tournament for Williams, in my opinion. He's been good, he's been bad. So that fly half, scrum half axis, I think Wales are in transition in this area. But he did increase a bit of the intensity. That's on 66 minutes. Then the game gets a bit scrappy in the sense of the dislike between the two teams is quite clear. There were some minor little incidents. I think the referee, He went with the advice of the TMO in regards to the Fiku tackle and with his touch judge. But there was the mood between the players got fractious. It could have boiled over with a lopsided scoreline. Now, Wales have got themselves back in the game, could the comeback be on? But because of that fractious element to the game towards the end of the second half, maybe that stopped the comeback from Wales. The French, in years past, may have shut down, panicked, lost focus, and may have conceded more points than they did. Peno gets his second try, again holding that width, and again it's fast interplay between all the back line, which they've shown week after week after week for the best part of 2-3 years now, that they have really come on as a side, as a group. Peno, that's a standard Peno try, really, holding his width. He's very, very good at that. Very similar to Dante's try in the first half, stretching the play, that final pass, really stretching the play. That final pass is key there. Peno scores his try, but then very, very quickly, Wales, with Rio Dyer, he scores his try in 80 minutes. That's a green shoot for the future, is Dyer. Defensively, I think he's on the smaller side, and therefore technique is key when it comes to tackling and manning up. But he's got pace to burn. They need to get his hands on the ball more. I feel some of the positional selections, like George North in the centres and Reece Samet at fullback, while that may work on an attacking setup with an attacking set play, defensively it doesn't. It really doesn't. I don't think Reece Samet is a fullback, and I don't think George North is an outside centre. I think Reece Samet is better served on the wing. I can understand in an attacking sense having him come in as a fullback with Reece Samet and George North in the centres, offset play. I wouldn't do that in general play. So I think Warren Gatland, some of his positional selections with players in the back line, I will still question. Yes, George North gets his try, but offset play when he was a winger with Wales, he would come into that position. So that one, okay, he had a good start to the game, but defensively he's not a centre. And Reece Samet, he's better served defensively on the wing. As a fullback, some of his positioning he's not a fullback. He can transition to a fullback because he's, I think, young enough, but he doesn't play fullback regularly for his club either. And so in a game where there's nothing on the line really for Wales, they can't get the wooden spoon, but they want to put a performance in. When you're playing players out of position like that against a French side that is a juggernaut, it's not going to work, pretty much. But that's my opinion. France can still win the Six Nations title. It all depends now what England can do against Ireland. And so far, my prediction of all the home sides winning is going true. Scotland won at home, Ireland win at home, France win at home, sorry. Wales, as I say, much improved performance, but there's still areas in there with intensity, breakdown, speed of breakdown, speed of the clear out, speed of play. When they're building phases, they're still that step and a half slower than the opposition, which has been noted. They were more keen to run today, although as the game wore on, they kicked more. France, okay, some of the tries that Wales ended up scoring in the second half, they were trying to play from deep. They were overplaying unnecessarily. They can't afford to do that in the World Cup, because that could prove disastrous in a knockout game. But they were in control at that point, so some of the game management by the French as well, and Sean Edwards will not be happy with the French conceding 4 tries. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts below. And of course, the big one, Ireland, can they win the Grand Slam, is coming up next against England. So from me, thank you very much for watching, and it's goodbye for now.